boy, I hope I'm right. They sounded all right, though, Tom muttered to himself, as Rachuk retreated to the grand hall. All doors leading to the greeting hall had been barred, just as planned. If it was a trick, they would be hard-pressed to get inside any further, and even if they did, they would have a psychotic captain armed with explosives to deal with. Tom was armed as well, of course. 1 revolver, 1 rifle, and 2 of the fuck-everything-around grenades. If it was a trap, he was quite confident he could deal with it, assuming he could get to cover before the fuse ran out. At least if it was just the 2 of them, and he had guessed right about the dragon's age and size. "Right, we're ready! Stand clear of the door!" Tom shouted out, as he manned the winch mechanism with a heave and a creak. The door first shuddered, and then the bottom lifted outwards a few inches, but that was about it. I think it's stuck." "Need a hand?" the male dragon's voice questioned from outside, as the freezing chill poured in along with a flurry of snow. "Maybe just a little," Tom called back, as he tried to put both hands on the winch, but that was not a fight he was going to win anytime soon. "Must be the snow." "Oh, yeah. Does this open outwards?" the dragon questioned, sounding perfectly innocent. "Yeah, it does." "That's a bummer, isn't it? All the snow is out here." "Go on, Nick. Brush it away, would you?" the woman requested, and Tom heard something running along the outside of the door, possibly the dragon's tail. "There we go. Try again." Tom rocked back and forth to get as much of a run-up as he could, then put his whole weight on the handle of the winch, and it yielded just a little. "Do you need a hand? I can get a claw under, I think," Nick offered once more, as Tom grunted with effort. No, don't break it. I'll just rock it a bit." It took a few tries inching the door back and forth, wood and rope creaking, before it finally gave way, and the door started to open. It was far from quick, as the opening grew little by little, the counterweights descending. Cold air and a flurry of snow rushed in, starting to cover the floor in a fine layer of powder. Having gotten the door moving, Tom moved to keep just one hand on the winch, the other grabbing the rifle at his hip. He pointed it vaguely in their direction. At least the shot might scare them if it came to that. He felt like such a muppet, but he did rather want the big bastard pointed at them over the revolver. As the door raised little by little, he bent down to try and get a look at what was waiting for him. He counted 6 clawed feet, 4 rather more substantial than the first 2, but sadly nothing like Jarek's, much smaller. The dragonette was even more fascinating, though. She's not even wearing those foot covers or anything for the cold. As the door kept on opening, he realized she wasn't wearing any sort of winter clothing at all. She was in armor. Quite crummy-looking metal armor, but still armor. It reminded him a little of what Volson's escorts had worn, only in worse condition. They did not move just yet, probably scared any sudden moves could be interpreted poorly, and once their faces were revealed, they were both gawking at him, even more so than he was at them. Just as promised, 1 young-looking woman and 1 very young white dragon. The dragon looked no larger than a riding horse to Tom. If Jarek's was anything to go by, a veritable child, but who knew what speed they grew at? Or maybe it was a dwarf or something. Tom hadn't heard any mention of such dragons before, but neither had he heard about dragonettes immune to cold. Even Rachuk would be fucked if he was out in a storm like that without any real protection from the weather. Tom guessed the woman was about the same age as Foe or Bo, which struck him as far too young for work like this. Tom finally let go of the lever and stood up straight, facing them, rifle clasped firmly with both gloved hands, and moved to a low ready. "Well, hello there." "Hi," the woman said, giving him a cautious wave. She sounded worried all of a sudden, and it was easy enough to guess why. Maybe we should, go," the dragon added, evidently sharing in the concern Tom's appearance had caused. "Oh, I'm not that bad. Just look a bit strange. Don't worry, Rachuk is a regular old dragonette. I'm just cut from a different stock," Tom joked, trying a smile and showing off hopefully white teeth. What do you mean?" the woman questioned, as she took a step back from the horrifying sight that was a human in a dark green and black uniform. "I'm a human, not a dragonette. Don't worry, no corruption hiding in my veins. Inquisition checked quite thoroughly." "And what is the stick?" She pointed at his deer rifle, evidently suspicious. "Oh, a gun. Behave or I'll blow you to kingdom come with fire magic, so no fooling about."
"Is this a stick-up?"
the woman questioned, sounding like she didn't quite believe it. The dragon leaning back on his hind legs and raising his paws.
"I got a nice breath and I ain't afraid to use it."
No, we already got one dragon through here thinking she could take what didn't belong to her. She's sleeping downstairs. We ain't in the business of robbing or anything like that. Just, be nice, even if I look funny."
"Right,"
the woman said, as much to herself as to Tom. She was clearly far from convinced. The dragon gave her a side glance before nodding in Tom's direction, as the snow whirled around the two of them.
"So, I shouldn't blast him, right?" "No, for the God's sake, Nick, don't do anything like that. Or say it for that matter. You're going to get us killed," she snapped, eyes glued to Tom.
Now, I don't shoot first," Tom chuckled, feeling quite vindicated in his belief that it really was just a pair of kids in over their heads. "Tell you what, why don't you come inside? We'll shut the door for this blasted wind and see if you got something we want. Gotta be freezing out there. At least, it should be," he replied, looking to the woman quite pointedly. Her armor looked more like that of the Huntress's, though far less revealing. Simple metal plate work to protect the vitals, leather and stout linen for the rest of her. Though it had certainly seen better days, it looked like the only reason the metal was shiny was wear and tear. The dragon was wearing just a harness, one with all sorts of hoops to attach things to, much like what Tom remembered Archon and Galaxa using, only much smaller. He had a small strongbox around his neck and various sacks and bundles strapped to him, along with a proper saddle a bit behind the base of the neck, just like Tikwan had. In fact, he looked quite a lot like a flying draft horse.
"I suppose that would be fine, but I'm warning you, any funny business and Nick will turn you into the king's favourite dessert."
"No, you lack the lemons for it. In you come," Tom remarked with a grin, waving them onwards. The woman started to take a few steps forward, staring at him like he just insulted her mother, or maybe it was just her surprise that Tom knew what lemon ice cream was.
No, we got some lemons, I think. Goes great with the rations in winter, keeps you healthy. Well, frozen lemon, you know. Actually, I should probably leave those outside," the dragon remarked, looking down at his side, still sitting upright like a dog begging for food.
"It's freezing in here too, I wouldn't worry about it," Tom reassured, stepping aside as to let them both pass. "Only place we got a bit of heat going is the kitchen."
"Oh, you all turned in for the winter. I guess that explains why there are only two of you. Normally there is no one to answer when a keeper's sleeping, but the chimney was lit, so we guessed you hadn't gone for it yet."
"Yeah, I can't go to sleep, and Rachuk is rather gifted with fighting off the cold. Which begs the question, how aren't you dead?" Tom asked, in a loud enough voice he hoped Rachuk could hear from wherever he was.
"Oh, right. That small thing."
She seemed a little flustered. Perhaps she had completely forgotten about that small detail.
"It is quite a long story."
"It's quite a long storm, and I doubt Rachuk will let you down where it is warm without telling it. You coming, big guy?" Tom asked, looking back to the dragon, who had not moved a muscle yet.
"Oh, right. Yeah.
The dragon sat back down on all fours.
"Thanks for not, making me blast you. We're trying to cultivate an image, you know."
"Well, so far so good. No need for anyone to wind up dead today."
"A start, I guess," the woman added,
as Tom watched the young Drake pass. His shoulder was barely above Tom's head height. If he stood on tippy toes, he might be able to look over the lowest point of his back, if not for the various goods strapped to him.
"But please tell me you actually got money to trade something. Or at least hot food."
"We can definitely manage food, and we do have coin. Question is, have you got something we want? If not, I might just have a favour or two to ask." The woman raised an eyebrow at the idea of favours.
"What sort of work we talking? We don't do mercenary work."
No, nothing like that. But for now, introductions, I believe. I am Thomas Hansen. Welcome to Bismarti Keep. The guy hiding behind the barricade waiting to see what we are dealing with here is Rachuk Bismarti, captain of the keep, and he's armed to the teeth. And you are?" The woman nodded slowly before gesturing to her own chest.
"I am Elsara Johnsre, and that handsome young gent is Nicholas. We've been flying together for a few years by now." Normally we try to go exploring and do surveying and stuff. But it doesn't pay the bills very well, so we thought why not have a crack at this winter trading? Everyone was bragging about how much money they made doing it. It's our first year trying it.
Wouldn't it perhaps have been smart to ask someone ahead of time what they wanted? Tom questioned. He didn't know much about this trader business either, but that seemed like a solid starting point.
If they knew that, they would have just gotten it during the year, not waited for winter. We just asked some of the other guys who were doing it what they normally bought, and then we just bought that.
Sounds like it's just rotten luck then. How many queues did you visit?
3.
Elsara admitted with a shrug.
We don't carry enough of the big keeps further in, and the money should be better out here.
If anyone can afford you, Tom added with a chuckle. But it sounds like a bit of bad luck. 3 keeps ain't much. Are we number 3?
No, you would be 4, but you already said you didn't need anything.
Well, we'll see about that. Got any good meats?
No, we ate those.
Ah, well then. Tom did find that a little bit funny, but considering the conditions, he couldn't blame them. If they had only found the island just as the storm rolled in, they would have been flying, or even worse, walking around the winter landscape for days before finding Bismarti. Probably best you lay over here till the storm passes then, if you are running out of rations. You know, when the weather clears, maybe we could do a spot of hunting?
I mean, if you pay us,
Elsa said, testing the waters. I guess we can work out something there. Hired help sort of deal, and I do have one other thing I need.
Which is?
I want a small pine tree for a winter celebration of my people.
Dude, you are sounding like some sort of fairy tale. And then they danced around the holy heaven oak and threw seeds in the air.
Well, there is dancing involved, but not quite that.
Jeez, what are you even?
I said what? I'm a human.
Ain't ever heard of a human, and I've travelled a lot.
Yeah, you said you've been flying together for years. Must have been very young when you started.
Oh yeah, we left when I was 15. Not too bad, you know, but still.
About the same age as Sapphire, then. Well, I guess you are one of the adventurous ones.
You sound old. Are you like ancient or something? Is that why your clothes are the colour of moss?
I'm 37. Wait, no, 38 now, actually. Time flies. So I wouldn't say ancient.
Ah, right.
Elsa once more didn't seem to know what to do with the information.
Ha, you're older than me, the dragon added with a chuckle. I'm 24.
I guess that explains the size, yeah. Smallest dragon I ever saw, Tom noted, looking up at the dragon's head, though he didn't have to twist his neck anywhere near as much as he was used to.
Meaning I don't eat much. I am economical. Not cheap enough, Nick. We're still broke,
Elsara pointed out with a deep sigh.
Well, only 'cause we won't do merc work, and we ain't working for those Quisitor types.
The Inquisition? Tom questioned, hoping he might clarify. Of the two, Nick certainly seemed less concerned with any personal secrets.
Yeah, ain't lifting the claw for those shitheads, and the church won't ever let you go anywhere. So here we are. Nick, White Dragon Explorer and Trader Extraordinaire. Soon to be wealthy too. Hopefully.
You sound a lot like Galaxa, Tom noted with amusement, electing to keep it secret that they had not one but 2 inquisitorial agents sleeping in the keep right now.
Oh, that old fart? You know him?
The dragon questioned, a grin spreading across his face. He's been here twice just this year, Tom confirmed. Strange dragon, that one, but nice enough.
But Galaxa flies for the Inquisition, doesn't he?
Elsara questioned, looking to Nick with evident concern. Right, they really don't like the Inquisition. Who can blame them?
He flies for anyone with money. He doesn't care, the dragon replied, not seeming concerned. He'll do merc work too, but it's going to be so expensive.
Sounds about right, yeah, Tom concurred with a chuckle. According to him, I give the finest belly rubs in the kingdom, though he might have just wanted more work.
I ain't falling for that one again. You ain't touching my stuff. It's my stuff. But you can buy some of it if you want.
Suit yourself.
Nick, I don't think he's trying to steal anything, Elsara added, glancing at the rifle. I don't think he needs to steal. That thing looks expensive.
Tom looked down. Oh, this whole thing? Yeah, you're probably right, but it sure isn't for sale.
What is that? I know you said gun before, but that is glass, right?
She pointed roughly at the scope. Tom indulged her and raised the rifle, naturally keeping the muzzle well clear of anything he didn't feel like blowing away. It is, yes. That is the scope. Think looking glass. Lets me see targets very, very far away. Hundreds of yards, and I can still pick which eyeball I want to take out. That was, of course, quite the overstatement, but it sold the point well enough, Tom figured.
Right. You sure it ain't for sale?
Quite sure, Tom reaffirmed with a smile, taking a quick look around before settling down on a crate that was probably empty, leaning the rifle against his leg but on the ground. But who knows? Maybe one day when I'm old and grey. He wanted to keep their interest piqued. He could think of a fair few uses for a horse-sized dragon, and if Elsa could navigate worth a damn, which it sounded like she could, they would be perfect for running back and forth between the keeps on the island.
I'll snatch you for a good price if I'm still around, Elsa offered.
Nick, too, was eyeing the rifle, though he was looking at Tom's vest as well.
What about those strange potions?
Not potions, explosives. You know, firebombs.
Oh, right. No thanks. I don't carry blitz gel.
Nick shook his head and pulled his head back a little.
No way. It mixes poorly with flying in storms and the occasional rough landing,
Elsa added to clarify, sounding a little apologetic. Wise choice, Tom agreed with a sagely nod. No reason to bring up that his had no blitz gel in them, nor their rather more energetic nature. But I thought you were broke.
Oh, right, yeah. So, you want to see our wares?
Elsa questioned, looking to Nick, who had just gotten to lay down close enough to Tom's crate for polite conversation. Sure, let us see what you have. I would need to fetch money, though, and Rachuk.
Is he scared? Hearting away like that?
Maybe a little scared to have to save my butt, but I think we're past that concern, though, aren't we?
I don't want any of this, whatever it is, Elsa said, gesturing to Tom's whole person. You freak me the fuck out.
I do tend to have that effect sometimes. What about you, Nick?
I hate having to smack or freeze anyone. I'm good, man, if you don't blow us all up, the dragon responded, shaking his head. Like I said, we don't do mercenary work. Not good, not bad. We just don't.
Elsara added alongside her steed, as she set about picking off a box from the harness. Well, I shall try not to slip. Why don't you wait here? I'll go talk to the guy in charge. Tom had thought that with the dragon and his partner safely inside the greeting hall, he would have been able to convince Rachuk to go sit down for a chat. He was wrong. Best he got was the captain watching from an open door leading to the grand hall, just long enough to confirm what Tom had claimed, and to give his blessings for the three of them to work out whatever details they wanted. He did allow them to stay out of the storm, though, and promised what food could be scrounged up, though he did emphasize that if they stayed, that offer of going hunting would be called to pay for what they ate. It sounded fair enough to Tom. Winter provisions were limited commodities, after all. But nonetheless, they had gotten a pair of chairs out to sit down and have a more proper chat. One of the empty crates played table, complete with an oil lamp to give a little light. You sure you don't want to come inside? Tom questioned as he took his seat.
I will not leave Nick's side, no. For more than one reason, Elsa replied, as she finished setting up her little display of goods, almost like she was at a tiny market.
Nicholas half curled up behind her in a protective half-circle, even if the dragon himself was looking rather sleepy. Mighty cold out here, though, even with that door shut.
That may be so, but it's never bothered me much.
I can see that. Well, why don't we start there? It is freaking Rachuk out, to put it bluntly. I'm not sure he doesn't suspect you of being ghosts or something.
Ha, if only. I don't think it costs anything to be a ghost. But no, I got a heartbeat last I checked. Nick too, believe it or not.
Pumping purple glyco, I presume.
I have no idea what that sound is supposed to be or mean.
Antifreeze. Keeps water from, becoming a brick at these temperatures. Just don't drink it. It might be sweet, but it is poisonous.
Now that's just cruel.
Sure is, Tom chuckled, letting out a breath as he got comfortable. So why don't you enlighten me with that story of yours?
Well, if you buy something, I might.
Tom raised an eyebrow at her. Someone has had the time to cook up a scheme. Very well. The liquor you got. What is it?
Whiskey. Strong enough to burn.
I see. Well, that may or may not kill me, as I learned before. How would you rate the quality? Elsa looked kind of funny at him.
I mean, kinda good. Not top shelf, but, you know.
Not tavern piss either. Maybe Jackie would like it. Right, what else you got?
Any other foods that might just kill you, other than bad whiskey?
Not that I know of, but you never know. Anything else?
Some different ration foods, blankets. These ones are very nice.
She unfolded a beige-coloured woolen blanket for him and ran her hand across it.
It is made from Nila wool. Very soft and incredibly warm for how thin it is.
Now that might be of interest. The furs are all quite big and heavy, you know. Elsa visibly brightened up at his interest. Tom figured more frontier dwellers likely preferred their homegrown blankets and furs, since they were bound to be much, much cheaper after all. But it sounded nice. Tom took off a glove and reached out to stroke the blanket with a bare hand, and she wasn't lying. As his fingers slid across the very finely knitted blanket, it really was quite comfortable. It felt almost like a synthetic fibre. Then again, he was hardly a connoisseur of these things. He used to think the IKEA sheepskins were real sheepskin. Or at least wool. Very nice. Reminds me of home a little, almost. I should have brought more blankets.
You brought things from, wherever they find someone like you?
Well, did you think this was made here? He gestured at his thick winter jacket, sporting the same pattern as did most of his outdoor clothes. Green and black splotching making up the majority.
No, most definitely not. Would anything happen to be for sale?
No, not for the moment, Tom rebuked, dampening her enthusiasm a touch. Besides, I could only ever take a ridiculous sum of money for it all, but I'll have this, I think.
Right, sold. Oh, wait, no, it's,
Tom chuckled to himself a little as he waited for her to actually name a price, wondering just how badly she might be looking to rip him off here.
35 silver, she finally said,
seeming happy enough with the answer. Nick gave a little start, like a dog that farted itself awake, head raising up to glance at Elsa. Tom had suspicions that might be quite a bit more than they paid, but 35 silver sounded quite cheap for a nice blanket. Alternatively, she was selling it off cheap, which didn't make that much sense, but maybe they really were that desperate and she was so at a loss. Tom very much doubted it, though. Very good. I'll get that for you later. Not like you were going anywhere in a hurry.
Oh, has he said we could stay?
Nick questioned, as he laid his head back down on the ground again. If you behave. No touching anything. Especially the stuff over there, Tom went, pointing at a dim dark wall that could barely be seen in the dim lamplight. Their eyes should have a better time of it than his, though, so he had faith they could see the brass press and the shot-rolling plates Jarrett's had been using to help them produce ammunition. It had all been pushed to the side when the dragon made for his winter hibernation and covered with a tarp, which, now that he looked at it, did make it all seem rather ominous.
Right, no touching. Got it,
Elsara replied, eyes fixated on the corner for quite some time, head tilting slightly. Right, no way in hell they aren't looking under there now. Well done, Tom. Oh well, not like it matters much. So, with that cleared up, I bought something. Your turn. Just what the hell is going on? Elsara sighed, looking back to him, and throwing a side glance at her remaining goods.
All right then. Normally I'd charge a round of ale or something for telling that little secret.
Tom just smirked at the little pause. Maybe they could get out something to drink later, if it hadn't frozen. He patiently waited for her to carry on.
Worth a shot. Nick and I, we've always been rather adventurous, you know. World is so big and a keep is a pretty small place. Ever since we could both fly, we've been sneaking off to go see what there was to find, you know. Out in the world. Got in a lot of trouble for it.
Grounded so many times, Nick added with a rumble, eyes not even opening as he switched to a higher-pitched mock female voice.
No dinner today, you two. Fucking nagrate. Such a bitch. Anyway, once we were old enough to leave, you bet your ass we did. We wanted to go see the world, and together, we could go anywhere and get into anything.
What, you went around thieving? Tom questioned, bemused.
No. Ruins. Far-flung keeps and cities. Islands high and low. Places no one dares to go. We've seen it all, man. It's great fun.
You're a bit young to have seen it all, but alright then.
You know what I mean. We were living the life, even if there were bad days too.
So many courier runs just to pay for food and supplies.
Turns out making a bow is quite a lot harder than tying string to a stick, you know.
Tom just nodded sagely, following along so far.
Well, one day we found this ancient old place, looked like a temple or something. Super cool. Didn't look like anyone had found it before when we were flying as surveyors for the guild. Some shithole island no one cared about, so they sent us rather than a proper crew. Well, inside this cool temple, we found an altar or something like that. We think. Never been much of prayer, but I think that's what it was.
And we touched it, Nick said proudly. Elsara shrugging.
And we don't know how much later we woke up, but...
the trees had turned orange when we got back out.
So that wasn't good, and fuck me, I was hungry afterwards.
You lost like 10 kilos, Nick chuckled, finding it funny apparently. Shame 15 came back looking.
Oh, fuck you. But yeah, we probably shouldn't have done that, and, well, now I can't leave him.
What? Like, the gods would be mad if you did, or? Tom questioned, not exactly sure what she meant by that.
No, we tried once or twice. I was going to go hunting and it hurt. I felt weak, like when you were burning your magic hard, right? And he felt it too, so I pretty much had to stay close to him forever.
And you lost your magic?
Alright, yeah. Used to always know my way. That kinda sucked to lose on an unmapped island. Past the frontier.
She grew a little quieter as her memories harkened back to what sounded like less than pleasant times. Tom could imagine. At least he thought he could. 2 young kids, lost who knows where, thinking they had a safe path home. Strange magics at play. He would likely be less than calm in a situation like that, or at least cursing profusely.
But not all bad. In exchange, I can't get cold anymore, just like Nick. It's like we were linked together or something. Possibly forever.
She half glossed over that last part, and it didn't sound like it was exactly what she had in mind for her life. Could have been worse. Imagine if you hated each other.
Oh yeah, pfft. We never fight or anything like that.
Elsara deflected, Nick letting out a satisfied rumble.
Oh, quit your smugness. We still don't know what will happen when I drop dead from old age.
Or drinking, Nick added, sounding even more amused.
But you'll start like this forever. Not if you hit a wall, you sleepy fuck. You fell asleep flying twice just coming out here.
Not my fault it's so fucking boring with the same islands again and again and again. Seen one heaven oak, seen them all. Tom let the 2 of them bicker for now, taking a moment to think. A magic altar? She lost her magic, but gained the gifts of a white dragon. He thought those were supposed to be more built in, so to speak. Not a magical talent or gift, rather magic biology. But perhaps it was both. So you were linked together? Tom questioned, gaining Elsara's attention as Nick shuffled around a little, getting even more comfortable.
As good a guess as any, I think. Then when we finally got back, we were chewed out for being late. Then we were interrogated because apparently we found some place important. We were smart enough to fuck off when the Inquisition showed up, though. I ain't going away to some dark dungeon with those fucks, so I don't actually know if we are officially wanted or not. I think they've got more important shit to deal with. What with a war brewing and all that crap. Oh yeah, you guys seen any darklings? We saw a few islands back. Fuckers were just running around like chickens.
I still hate you for making me freeze them, Nick added with a grunt, seeming less joyous for once. We don't do that. We promised each other.
Nick, they are already dead, man. It's a mercy if anything. That, and we're still hoping for a bounty or something. But yeah, you seen any?
Oh yeah, hundreds. And a couple dark knights, night terrors. A few witches, you know. Tom replied nonchalantly, savouring her shocked expression.
What the shit, man? They still here?
Nah, they've been taken care of. Had a whole wing of Royal Guard out here this summer to rummage around and flush them out. Still got the skull of the Red Dragon who tried to help out. You want to see?
Gosh damn. You're joking, right? The Golden Girls are actually being useful for once. I think I just lost a bet somewhere.
Don't let Jarrix hear you. You'll hurt his feelings, Tom chuckled. The blue dragon downstairs is a guard.
Wait, you got a dragon stationed here? In winter? Fucking hell, what did you pay him?
Well, aside from my service, should there be the need, nothing. But that's a long story too. Now, did you have something more to sell, or are we going to be trading stories instead?
Oh, hell no. You ain't getting away with a tease like that. I'll tell you about the time we found some old figurine with a sun for a head. Pure gold, too.
I suppose that can work. Right then. So, it all began with this guy called Lord Johann.